boundaries. So it's important that you set boundaries for each other. Define how far is too far. Okay, for instance, your male friends as the wife, um, they can call you a certain time of the night. They can call you. For your female friends, the man, the husband, your female friends cannot call you at certain time of the night. Your female colleagues or associates cannot call you at certain time of the night. So it's important that you set boundaries and communicate these boundaries to each other and agree what works for you and what does not work for you. And each of you should also try as much as possible to respect those boundaries. Now, some people can also decide that, okay, if your husband is the MD CEO, he can decide not to have a female PA. He can decide not to have a female secretary. It could be, he may decide to have a male secretary. So whatever you want to achieve in your marriage, is important that both of you agree and set boundaries for each other. This is a way to protect each other, protect your union, protect your marriage from infidelity. Does if lady maybe giving your husband 360-degree hug count as cheating? So you need to find out what you consider as cheating, and set boundaries to mitigate against infidelity. Now, it is also important that you spend quality time with your spouse, spend quality time with your husband, spend quality time with your wife. And this is about being intentional. Yes, I know that we have to, as a husband, as a wife, you need to go out, make income, earn a living, and all of that to bring food to the table. But it's important that you also have your family at the back of your mind and intentionally create time for family, create time to spend with your spouse, create time to spend with your wife. Because when you create time and when you spend time with your wife or with your husband, you find that you bond more, your relationship gets deepened. There is really no loophole for any infidelity to happen, or for infidelity to occur in your marriage. Your wife wants to be loved. Your wife wants to know that you truly, truly love her. You truly, truly love her. And the same as the husband. Your husband wants to know that you consider him as priority. So it's important that you spend time with your spouse and let them know that it means so much to you. The most successful and happy couples are those who bond together. Also have date nights. Yes, put date nights in your schedule. No matter how busy your schedule is, make time for date nights, make time for games, make time for fun times in your marriage. I mean, it's not every weekend that you should, spend in your house. You could close from work on Friday, maybe in Lagos, for instance. Maybe you're working on the island. You could meet somewhere and spend the weekend in a hotel. You both can check into a hotel and have time, to yourself, spend quality time, go to the cinema, do games, just to build and to deepen that bond and that relationship that exists between you. Another way not to cheat on your spouse is not deliberately touch someone of the opposite sex. That means you need to be cautious of the way you deal or you relate with the opposite sex. There's this guy I know, he's married. He doesn't hug women face to face. He hugs them. He gives them 180. He doesn't hug 360 degrees. He does side hug. And so for some people, you need to decide what works for you, because some men could get triggered. So some men know that certain touches from the person of the opposite sex, from women, could trigger him, could make him have erections. So they would rather hug them or shake them. All right, so if anyone is hugging you, with a 180 degrees, just know that he's avoiding temptation. Okay, and the same with women too. So you can decide as a married woman, you're not going to hug the opposite sex or opposite gender 360, that's the full hug, chest to chest, and all of that, So whatever you decide to do, but there are certain touches from the opposite gender that should not be condoned, should not be encouraged. You also need to know when a man is trying to hit hard on you as a lady, or when a woman is coming after you. Brothers, some of you know, when you see the lady wearing, very, very revealing clothes, maybe clothes that would show her boobs and all of that, you know that that person is on a mission. She is an agent trying to destroy your life. So you need to guard against that. So avoid deliberately touching the opposite sex, because sometimes your touch could communicate the wrong message. That harmless touch of yours, sir, could communicate the wrong message to that single lady, to that married woman in your office, or that's your business partner. So it's important that you deliberately avoid touching the women or my sisters, married sisters. Avoid deliberately touching men, because sometimes some men are not okay. They would read meanings to the touch. Know how to touch the man. Yes, even your colleagues. There's a way you hold a man and he is getting the wrong message. So please, you need to be conscious of the way you touch the opposite sex, just to avoid temptation. So hand holding too, there's a way you would hold a guy or hold a lady that will communicate affection. So all these things you need to be very conscious. So one man, some years ago, when my dad was doing a contract somewhere, I followed him to the side and we met the engineer that was in charge of the project. And my dad introduced him to me, whatever. So the man shook me, and then he scratched my palm. I immediately withdrew, because that communicated something to me. I don't know if it means I want to have sex with you or I love you or whatever, but I knew that was not appropriate. I mean, why would a married man for that matter, shake me and then he used one of his fingers to scratch my palm? So I just withdrew my hand immediately with the speed of lightning. So because I found it very uncomfortable, and that was a bit, unsettling for me. So some men do that to ladies regardless of their marital status. Okay, so that is deliberately touching someone of the opposite sex, and that thing could mean so many things, or he knows what he did.